Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pro Wrestling World Talks with Dan and Mac.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to PWW Talks. I am your host, Dan, and I am joined by my best friend and co-host of this program, Mac. Mac, thanks again for being on the program this week. And I guess if you did not watch night 2, and if you just watched night 1 and said, F this, I am not giving them any more time of day or any more thought, because night 2 was a complete dichotomy of the disaster that night 1 was.
I don't want to say it was a disaster, but it was definitely the tale of two nights.
It was definitely I really don't know how to describe it, because it's like the last.
Why I thought I pretty much nailed it with Tale of Two Nights.
It's true. You're right, because like the first night, because last year we talked about, like, you know, how WrestleMania 41, the first night was really good, and then night 2 was just where I feel like night 1 this year was better than night 2 last year, not by much, but better. And then night 2, you can make an argument, especially with the main event. The main event may have been the best in WrestleMania history ever. I'm having kind of an internal discussion whether I feel like it's in my top 5 or top 10 all time. You know, that's still something internally I'm still trying to kind of figure out, way out. Which definitely raised the bar of the show overall, because if you did not have the brilliance of the main event, the show would probably be looking at not a terrible rating, but at the same time, a middling rating. In the category of not a terrible WrestleMania, but a forgettable WrestleMania. And because of the brilliance of night 2 and the main event, you now can sit there and say, yeah, it was all right. Overall, it was all right.
I don't want to say that night 1 was a terrible show either. That's the thing, right? And I think that's kind of fair to say. Was it good? I think so. Was it great? No, far from it. It was far from great. I think that, and this has been discussed everywhere, so I have no problem saying this out loud. And you and I had a similar conversation too. The amount of advertisements, I feel like, detracted from the experience too. And when we got to night 2, which you and I had seen together, I almost felt bad because in the second match, which was the 6-pack ladder match for the IC belt, some of those guys didn't even get a televised entrance.
Mm-hmm.
And it really detracted from the experience for me. I'm sure that the simulcast on ESPN and ESPN2 for the first hour of either night, respectively, didn't really help that.
They were happy with the numbers, by the way.
Oh, I'm sure they were. They should be happy with the numbers, honestly. But the fact that it was simulcast, I think maybe plays a role to the amount of advertisements, especially in that first hour for both nights. But beyond that, it's just, like I said, it was the tale of two nights. It really was, because night 1, as I said, was okay, serviceable, maybe even good. I think some of the matches, they didn't really give them time to flesh that out, which boggles my mind because it's a 6 p.m. start. They had hours of pre-show going into both nights as well. But then night 2, it's like it saved the weekend. It entirely saved the weekend for them, I feel like.
I think the ad thing is, I'm 50-50 on it, and here's why. I do remember growing up as a child, watching Superstars and Wrestling Challenge when that was a syndicated wrestling show, which pretty much meant it was a 60-minute advertisement. Every match really was a squash match. You never saw anything really competitive. That didn't come until they really went over to, well, actually, no, if you wanted to see something somewhat competitive, you either watched Primetime Wrestling or like All American Wrestling, or if you're until 1993, of course, there was WWE Raw, and then on the weekend there was Mania, and then Action Zone, which I think was on Sunday, which
You had
took
Heat,
place with
too.
All American Wrestling.
Well, you had-
Yeah, but I'm
No,
still
but-
talking about like the syndication days.
Well, I mean,
which,
even Heat was kind of almost syndicated back then because you had some shows that were advertisements, especially if you had
Yes.
the Heat going into a pay-per-view.
right.
The whole thing was advertisements and almost
whole
a pre-show in itself sometimes.
I still remember it was on the preview channel too, which if you remember Free for All, which
Yeah.
some people might not know what the preview channel was, which think of a channel that all it is a scroll on the lower part of the program of every network available in your cable provider. And it's just of the time slots that the show is that each network.
So it
is
was the
showing.
precursor to the channel guide that
Yes.
you now see on your cable networks, where you go to the guide to see what's on what channel and stuff. It was a scrolling version of that. It was a precursor to like any channel guide back in the day. So, yeah.
So an hour or a half hour before every WWF pay-per-view, I think starting in the mid-90s, they would show a half hour to an hour kind of free preview of what the pay-per-view was going to be. So they would put like a match on there. Somehow now, where they have the pre-show, which this year was 3 hours long, which I did not catch 1 second of. I think maybe I did coming into the theater.
Yeah, on Sunday,
on night 2, but I did not catch not one solitary second of it on night 1. They did get my money as far as the video game. I did wait a little bit, but I was able to purchase that last weekend, and so I was playing that quite a bit, and it was.
Probably a bit more
playing,
compelling in some of those matches too.
It was a little bit more compelling playing that at certain points and some of the matches that were kind of booked on night 1. It was my excitement coming into night 1 was extremely, extremely low. I just because of the fact that my main focus was on night 2, even though I was concerned about the expectations for night 2, especially the main event. But night 1 there was some good stuff. There was some very good stuff. I understand the ads consideration everybody kind of has, and criticism. But again, growing up in that syndication era when it was just like, I remember Lord Alfred Hayes going, consideration paid for by the following. And it was just all these ads for like Stridex. Every pay-per-view is brought to by like karate fighters or like Milton Bradley. They have always had some type of, like you go back into the old WWF magazines, on the back page of that magazine, you'll see it if like they ever advertise it, or you see one that's advertised on eBay. The front cover, of course, will always be colorful and, that old style with the logo. Hogan's on there, or it's a collage of a pay-per-view results or something like that. The back page of it would be like an entire full page ad of Mountain Dew or Crush Soda. That was on a consistent basis. And I understand that people are saying how in your face with it is. It's annoying now with it. What's on it. Look, boxing did it for years. UFC did it for years. Major League Baseball has done it for years. What do you think is on the outfield at every Major League Baseball game?
So, real quick, don't you feel that it's a little overplayed, though, for WrestleMania of all times to do that?
Considering the fact that we also grew up in an era that we were paying $75 a month for the show,
Fair.
for those shows, and now we're only paying 30 to 35, and I'm watching commercials between, you know how pissy that we would get at those parties. Like, I feel like those parties now would be a lot easier for, number one, smoke breaks,
Yep.
but also two, being able to go and get another beer.
Yep.
Or also piss breaks for that matter. Like, so really this makes things easier for us, because let's just say that it's just, like, I'm at the show and I'm just like, oh, match is over. I have to go outside to catch some air. That's also, Dan has to go out and vape. So Dan would go out and vape because I knew I had 5 minutes to kill.
Vast amounts of marijuana.
I get it. I get the commercialization of it and all that stuff. But look again, I grew up in the syndication era when it was literally a walking commercial. Christ's sake, Gene Okerlund would be in the toy aisle of Toys R Us showing you what goddamn wares they had now. Get your replica championship belt. Get the new wrestling buddies. Hulk Hogan, everybody. Get your Hulk Hogan wrestling buddies. And then all of a sudden the new Ultimate Warrior figure's there. And it's just, he's walking down the aisle. Oh, the Bushwhackers are here. Oh, boy. Oh, get your 2-pack of the Hasbro 2-pack. Literally, he's walking down the aisle of Toys R Us.
You mentioned Hulk Hogan, so before we go into the matches or anything, did you know there was a Hulk Hogan documentary?
Had no idea. None whatsoever.
Okay. I had to get that out of the way, sorry. That was eating at me all day. So yeah, we had 2 matches.
Much like the worms are eating him.
No comment. I was going to say something.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. So we opened the show on ESPN2. Obviously, internationally, this was on Netflix. And for those not watching on ESPN2, you probably have an ESPN subscription through your Disney platform. So the first match was a 6-man tag match. The Usos, Jay and Jimmy Uso, and LA Knight against The Vision, Logan Paul and Austin Theory, and I Show Speed.
So, I did not see a single solitary second of this match.
I didn't either, actually. I was doing other things, and I had it on a smaller screen. I'll just kind of say it that way.
My wings were in the oven.
Yeah, so I was not really paying fully attention for a while, and the screen had froze probably until about 8:30ish, and since you have an open with the national anthem and everything and all the entrance and stuff, this match was already over. So by the time I picked it up, I think Jacob and Drew were making their entrance. I did not go back to watch this match.
No,
it was 7 minutes. I saw that the Usos and LA Knight won, and I was pretty much done. I didn't need to watch the match.
I love LA Knight, but the other 5 people in that match, I was just like, I really don't need to see this.
Yeah, I didn't really care.
Yeah. They won. I was happy. I'm like, LA Knight won. Yay.
Yeah, same.
But like, yeah, it's the 5 other people. Nah.
Yep. The other opener for ESPN2, or the second match, was Jacob defeating Drew McIntyre in an unsanctioned match in about 14 minutes.
This was good.
It was all right.
Yeah.
I saw one of the criticisms online, which I also kind of shared. I was just like, they're in the ring a lot. And that's okay, but it's kind of odd because they didn't need to be, because it's an unsanctioned match. So, kind of like, what the hell? I thought it was good, though. It pushed Jacob, which we found out on Monday apparently was going to be a big push, which I was like, okay, I'm all for that.
For it. Yep.
I know a lot of people were talking about Obafemi, who we'll talk about later, but I think that's a little too soon right now.
Gotta wait that out.
Yeah, I'd wait maybe till SummerSlam, if not after. Honestly,
I'd wait the full year.
we can definitely talk about that more. But
Yeah.
Jacob Fatu, as I said, defeats Drew McIntyre. Now it shifts over to ESPN or Netflix internationally. This was a fatal four-way for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. The Irresistible Forces, Nia Jax and Lash Legend, were the champions, defending against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, and Brie Bella. And replacing a Hart Nikki Bella was Paige.
I was so happy for this.
And Brie Bella and Paige won the match, and they're the new women's tag team champions. I'm going to be honest, I didn't. I'm going to tell you why in a minute. I was a little mad they only got around 8.5 minutes. I think this should have gone a lot longer for all the participants involved in this match. We had heard over the weekend that Paige had re-signed.
Yes.
And to me, that was like, okay, she's going to be at Mania, obviously, right? You don't have a signing over the weekend and not debut them. That doesn't make any sense, especially someone of Paige's caliber who has been with the company in the past. I would have expected her to be in the next match, which we'll talk about in a minute, or at least be involved in the finish, as opposed to, I'm going to team with Brie Bella and just become a World Tag Team Champion out of the gate. It's nothing against Paige when I say that, by the way. I love Paige. I even liked her as Saraya in AEW, which Saraya is her real name. I'm probably saying it wrong, Saraya. I love her. I think she's awesome. I just didn't feel like this was the right call for that. And I've said this in the past, like you have Kairi Sane and Asuka that could have been involved in this match. You have other women in NXT that could have potentially been involved in this match that could have maybe added to it for XYZ reason. I just didn't need her in this match. I'm happy she's back, but I didn't need her in this match.
In my opinion, I'm going to agree with Mac on this because they could have done a substitution. They could have also done Io Sky and Rhea Ripley winning the tag team titles, and then
Could have done that too.
Rhea Ripley going on to the next night because Rhea Ripley's not booked until night 2. And you can have Io Sky booked. There's so many different ways that they could have gone with this. Because of Nikki not being cleared, they could have just said, sorry, Brie, we can't do it. There's no money in this. And they could have had Paige be involved in the other match that she probably should have been involved in over the weekend. So I was happy to see Paige come home, so to speak. I'm glad for her that she's in a better spot. She also addressed some things today on the recent podcast with Stephanie McMahon, who, gotta give it to her with that show. She really has been able to get some candid answers and candid interviews to some.
I agree.
Really weird questions that, are kind of tough to address.
Well, the one that she did with Royce Keys, I thought was awesome. I thought that was a really good show. And congratulations to Royce Keys, by the way, who debuted a couple weeks ago, finally on regular television, and also on Friday Night SmackDown over the weekend, won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. So
good for him.
Yep.
Gotta get his.
I absolutely pushed that man to the moon. I'm sorry.
To the moon, Alice. To the moon.
After hearing his story too, like I want to definitely root for him. I don't care what he does. I'm just gonna root for him because
I agree.
I love his story. I think it's awesome.
But to hear Paige candidly talk about the the tapes, that did to her mentally,
right?
And then her dad kind of calling her and just being like, "Look, it's something everybody does. Look what happened to Kim Kardashian. So it kind of just it's weird. It's a weird kind of thing to say, but it's just like I guess it could be worse. And considering the fact that there was a time 10 years ago where I was thinking, I'm like, oof, like she's going to end up like China or another cautionary tale. Well, there was a small period. There was a small window, especially of who she kept ties with because of that scumbag, and he shall remain nameless. But she's able to get a grip on herself, get a grip on her life. Obviously, that comes with age because, goddamn, you're all of a sudden on a rocket ship that you're at that age, and you're also coming over here, and it's just like, oh, really? Drink the booze? All right, yeah, sure, why not? And so for that, you're just like, okay, like what the hell? And she's now able to be healthy and also be able to physically,
mentally and physically,
which is so important, and I'm sure AEW did also wonders for her career too. Probably gave her the confidence to be back in the ring again because, and good for Nick Khan and just saying, all right, if you want to come back, there's two things. You got to pass a drug test. And I got to see how your neck is, which fair questions to ask.
Yeah, I mean, all things considered, 100%.
Yes.
The next match, and this is the one that I thought Paige should have had some involvement in, is Becky Lynch, who defeated AJ Lee to become the new, for a third time, Women's Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, it would have made all the sense in the world for Paige to be kind of involved with this, or Paige to even debut on Raw to challenge a Becky Lynch for winning the title.
Yep.
That also would have made complete sense.
Or, you know what? I'll say it this way, too. She could have been involved to help AJ Lee win.
Yes.
Then feud with Becky, and then feud with AJ right after that. Or do a triple threat at SummerSlam or something. You could have extended this feud even further.
Becky,
100%.
And Becky and Liz Page to get the victory over AJ. Like there's so many other scenarios again that you could have had AJ. That you could have Page debut. Excuse me, and that didn't happen. They decided to go the route of, let's just debut her and have her win the tag team title. And it's just like, but that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
This doesn't make any sense. Why?
Yep. It
doesn't make any sense.
When I heard she had gotten signed, that's what I figured was going to happen. It was going to be, okay, Becky and AJ, that she's going to be involved in that match somehow. But nope.
Or she's going to debut on Monday. Like that was.
Or that, yeah.
Scenarios I was thinking. Instead, no. It's like, no, Brie Bella. No.
Yep. Yeah, I guess we'll just move on. I feel like we're not even talking about the match anyways.
No, but
I know we're talking about Paige and that scenario, which I think is hilarious. I think we talked about it last week, but I felt like we both thought that Becky was finally going to get the win back.
Oh, of course.
So
it made all the sense in the world.
Yeah. So I wasn't,
even though I thought it was gonna happen in Chicago, and then AJ was gonna get the victory at WrestleMania.
That would have made more sense that way. I think we both said that before.
It would have, and it would have made it more of a WrestleMania moment.
Yep. I agree. But hey, Becky Hogan. Exactly. The next match was the Gunther and Seth Rollins match, and Gunther wins by submission. Seth Rollins also got speared twice, one during the match, one after the match, by a returning Braun Breaker.
Well, the first one, yes. The second one was kind of like he laid that shit.
He hit him, but yeah. I remember just seeing the text. Jesus Christ, just stand into it. Which you weren't wrong. I had to go back and watch it after, but I was like, really, bro? Listen, if the main event didn't deliver, which we'll talk about, this did.
This did.
Even with
we knew it would.
Right. Even with Braun Breaker getting involved, this still came very close to stealing the night. And in some people's opinion, I feel that they do feel it did steal the night. This is a great match, bell to bell.
Yeah, easily this was the match of the night, if the main event, which, in my opinion, the main event definitely delivered, but this was definitely on par with the match itself. If only this was a retirement match, I'd never have to see Seth Rollins again, but whatever.
Yep.
It all can't come together. Even though it's nice to see Braun come back and spear him to hell, even though that last one, man, I was just like,
that wasn't his fault though.
Step into it.
Yeah, that wasn't his fault. That actually irritated the crap out of me when I saw it, because I didn't remember it live, but then I looked back at it and I was like, wow, yeah, he did kind of like try to get out of the way of that one a little bit.
He did. He just was like, he's just like, nope. And it's just like, really, bro? Like, really? I understand you don't want that. It's going to be like a missile a little bit, but come on. Like, you got to make it look good a little bit instead of just being like,
We still don't know what the Gunther favor is from Paul Heyman. They talked a little bit about that on Monday.
We'll talk about that probably, and we'll talk about that more, I think, in the next night when we review night 2.
Yep, that's actually what I was going to say.
Something to do with it.
That's actually kind of what I was going to say. But yeah, there's a lot to talk about there from both night 2 and going into Raw the next night. But yeah, we'll go into the next match. So for the Women's World Championship, I don't really think this is a surprise to anyone, but Liv Morgan defeated Stephanie Becerra. I think the surprise, however, is that they only gave them less than 7 minutes.
That was probably the most frustrating match of the whole weekend. Out of the whole weekend, this was the most frustrating match, just because of the fact that they got literally. It reminded me of the Divas era. We're just going to give you.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I have to say this part. I hate to say that, but I also contextually understand why you're saying it.
It just reminded me of the Diva era, where it's just like, just give them you got 8 minutes, and it's just, and that's so pretty much you're giving them 15 minutes with entrances, but you're only giving them 8 minutes of ring time, and it's
not even. It was under 7.
You have Stephanie Becerra, who is one of the best overall performers in the world, working in CMLL and all over the world. And she's been champion for about 6 months now, defending against Liv Morgan, who is also turned into as one of the best in-ring performers in the world as well.
So can we stop right there for a second?
Yes.
I'm not going to disagree with you. I think Liv Morgan is very talented. But I think when you compare the styles of Liv Morgan and Stephanie Becerra, Stephanie is like leaps and bounds ahead of Liv Morgan. I'm sorry, she is.
Yeah, that's fair to say, but I'm also not saying, look, Liv, though, has improved.
Oh, 100%.
Leaps and bounds.
I'm not saying she's bad. I'm just saying she wrestles a very different style than Stephanie does.
That's true. But at the same time, it's like, it's hard because I understand how you could, because Liv I put in the same category of like a Trish Stratus, where it's just like if looks could be deceiving.
Sure.
Because it's just like you look at her and you're just like, there's no way she really could have like a matchup that is completely watchable. And it's just like, nope, this girl can go. She can work. And it's the same thing with Steph. And yeah, I get it. Like, I get it completely why you could think that Speaking of Steph, I just want everybody to know, going back to last week,
we are not talking about Stephanie Vaquer right now.
We have purchased an AC. It is coming on Saturday. So what we have, love how that we had the really hot day last week that interrupted our show, and then every day since then has just been like in the 50s and 60s.
I'm just gonna say next time, don't be a bitch and just put the AC in, even if you gotta take it back out a couple days later. But anyways, yeah, this match, I just felt like they were just about to step on the gas.
Why, about a U-shaped one now.
There you go. I felt like they were just about to hit the gas on this match, and they immediately just threw it in park. They didn't even hit the brakes. They just threw it in park.
So frustrating. I felt bad for both of them because they should have gotten at least. They should have gotten
12 plus.
Give them 15.
That's what I'm saying. 12 plus. Yeah.
You know, it's like there's. Yeah, that was probably my major criticism of the weekend, was the fact that they got less than they didn't even get 10 minutes.
A lot of these matches didn't. A lot of them didn't.
I know. At least on night one, it was just like, this is terrible. This is just awful.
Yeah. So let's review real quick, since I have Wikipedia up. The 6-man tag that opened the show, in the upper left, if you're looking at the screen, the Usos and the LA Knight versus the Vision and IShow Speed, 7 minutes and 8 seconds. The unsanctioned match between Jacob and Drew in the right-hand corner, 14 minutes and 9 seconds. So, okay, you're thinking like, okay, they're going to bring it back. Then the Fatal 4-Way for the women's tag match, 8 minutes and 33 seconds. Okay. Not ideal for a Fatal 4-Way tag match, but okay. Becky and AJ, 8 minutes and 15 seconds.
Oh, my
God.
God.
Backwards again. Then you got Gunther and Rollins, 17 minutes and 52 seconds. Oh, okay. We're coming back up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then fucking Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vaquer, the match we're talking about right now.
Oh, God.
6 minutes and 51 seconds.
Oh, God. Yeah, that is I think the biggest crime of the weekend, in my opinion. Like, if I had to give like an award for,
We're gonna do something real quick. Keep talking.
If I had to give my award for sorry you guys got fucked this weekend, it would be Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vaquer, because
100%.
that was such bullshit. That is just such bullshit. The fact they didn't even get 7 fucking minutes. They didn't even get 7 fucking minutes. Jesus.
So what I was looking up as you were talking is Allegiant Stadium curfew. And I do not see, according to the AI response of this, that it has a curfew. So I'm just going to read the AI response from Google, right? Allegiant Stadium does not have a publicly listed fixed curfew time for events, though concerts and events have extended late into the night. Curfew, if applied, are typically event-specific, particularly for high-profile concert. However, standard operations such as NFL games generally follow a typical evening schedule. So, accordingly to this, it does not seem like they have a curfew that they would have needed to follow. Even as a high-profile event, I suppose, it does not have a curfew listed. It just says that there might be one, and it's event-specific. So, why I bring this up is all these 6 matches, if you think about it, the show started at 6 each night. Not including the pre-show, of course. I think Cody and Randy came out, it was like not even 9 yet.
Yeah.
Which, listen, I'm okay with a quick show, but like, if I'm any of those people in the front row that spent like hundreds or tens, I should say, tens of thousands of dollars on a ticket, I'd be pretty pissed.
Yeah, I like I felt like that the majority of this show was a Saturday night's main event. It didn't even feel like WrestleMania. It felt like a Saturday night's main event
Or Raw.
or a Raw. With the heavy commercials and,
Yeah.
and things.
So that's why I said Raw, not SmackDown, honestly.
Another thing too that people need to realize with a lot of the syndication shows was it not only was a commercial for the toys and the merchandise, but they also had those live event centers where they would locally go around, because this is still in a time where it was this, they felt like that 90% of the business was on the house. So it's like their house show business was just like, we got to push every match. So it's just like you'll have all these guys would have promo days, and they'd have to do probably 35 different promos of each the different market that they had to take their match up. So it's just like Hulk Hogan has to cut the same promo about the matchup that he's going to have with King Harley Race in Detroit, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, Boston, New York, Chicago, Tampa, Miami, Dallas, like every major market you could think of where he'd just be. So I understand the argument that people have of just the heavy commercialization of WWE with this deal with ESPN and things like that. But look, it's just they've always been heavily commercialized. It's just a part of who they are. Like, it's just ever since Vince was just.
But I'm not mad about it. I'm like, I am and I'm not, I guess. It's a better way of saying it. Like, I am mad about it, but at the same token, I'm not.
Because you grew up in the same world, so you understand my point.
I do.
Where it's just like, it could be worse.
I mean, God, yeah. You could have even more, commercials for the Hulk Hogan documentary than we had. I mean that facetiously. I'm not that serious. I think what it is for me is just the sheer amount, though. Like, I forget. So I have this running gag. I don't do it as much now, but for several weeks, especially a month or so ago, I have a group chat with Dan and one other guy, Boo Ran, and I made about, I want to say at least 11 or 12 of memes of the Count from Sesame Street. One commercial, 2 commercial breaks, 3 commercial breaks, and I got up to like 10 or 11, and there was times that I felt like should I make like more of like 15? Like, it's just, it's obnoxious is what it is. If they lower that amount, I'd be fine with it to like 8. Because I remember watching Raw several weeks ago, and it was like 30 minutes, and they already had 2 commercial breaks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guys, cut the shit. Just cut it out. Because even for the international folks, you get something like, we'll be right back, so you still get a commercial break, even though you're not getting commercials. The other thing that I would say here, too, is just quite simply, if you think about it this way, and this is where it gets kind of funny too, if you think about it as much as I think about it sometimes, you're not only getting the commercials, but you're getting the vignettes that feel like fucking commercials. Or the cutaways of like, here we are, and here's what we did today kind of things. And I'm like, can you just go back to the fucking ring, please? I don't care about this. Like, this is your social media stuff. And yes, you should shout out your social media every so often, but not 5 times a fucking show. It gets to be too much for me. I want to see the action, and I want to see what's going on with the storylines to where you're furthering it. And like, I know what's going on. I watch it weekly, or at least I follow up weekly, so I don't need 3 hours of pre-show either. where I can only imagine the amount of commercials they had in the pre-show. And if anybody wants to tell us, please do. Because I'd love to know how many commercials from 3 p.m. to the last bell, not even including the post-show, because I can only imagine what they do there too. It's just, to me, honestly, the amount is disgusting. That's my gripe. I will get off my soapbox now.
I mean, I've never seen a group, I've never seen an organization so hungry for money in my entire life.
You know that? So you know that meme where they're like, "Yo, dog," like those ones. "Yo,
Yes.
dog, I heard you like commercials in your commercials."
Yes. Yes.
The other one is Ruby Rod. If anybody's ever seen Fifth Element, commercial.
God.
All right, I'll shut up now. Sorry, I can't say the amount of commercials in the product.
I mean,
You couldn't
we
figure that
saw
out.
the third guy on microphone at the commentary booth that didn't say anything. He was just sitting there because he paid enough money to be in that position. Like, he's just some crypto bro. This is the,
Yeah, I'm sorry, that dude. You are what's wrong with this planet.
like, what?
Do not
the
give them your money for that.
fuck?
Do not pay them money for that. That is so dumb. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sure that was a cool experience for that guy, but why?
Like, how much of their money did
Go
you
feed
did they get
starving
from you?
children.
Really? You got to feed the starving children,
Yep,
Peter.
exactly.
We have to feed the starving children.
Thank you for sharing my brain. Anyways, that'll bring us to the main event. Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, which they gave 22 minutes and 44 seconds to, the longest match of the night. Both main events were the longest matches of their respective nights. So, and Cody wins. Cody retains. Thanks to an assist from Jelly Roll for 5 seconds, I guess.
And Pat McAfee.
I don't call that an assist, but yeah. Thank Randy. I love you, but thank you for throwing that match.
Thank you for taking the L on that. It's a good match. It started slow.
But it should have.
My biggest complaint with Randy Orton matches still has always been, we get it, your back is injured. We know you've had back issues, but it's like every time that he has a match or a big match, it's just like the biggest.
He sells the shit out of his back, yeah.
I get it. I get the idea of it. I get it that they wanted to sell on the idea, hey, his back is hurt.
Right.
Like, he's 40-something years old. We get it. But it doesn't have to be the storyline every time. Cody making the big comeback. Cody ended up with the orbital bone injury. We don't have.
Let me interject real quick. I am super mad that man was on Monday Night Raw without the dashing mask.
Oh, boy.
I am so mad at him for that.
If he could have just wore the glasses, too. It's just, he should be wearing his glasses. He needs his glasses.
I was so mad that he did not have the undashing mask. Where
is his glasses? He needs his glasses.
That was just a really.
He can't see without his glasses.
Oh my goodness! It was a blown opportunity to not have that undashing mask ready to go on Monday Night Raw. Listen, it started slow, but honestly, it turned into pretty close to a 5-star match for these two. I felt like both were messed up at the match. Cody, as Dan said, had the orbital bone probably. Pat McAfee, listen, for all the bullshit that we gave him the last couple of weeks, which was warranted, he was good in this match for his part that he played. He did. He was good. Coming back out with the neck brace and the ref shirt, I thought was a really stupid
nice
but
touch.
really funny touch, 100%. And true to form, I am glad that Randy Orton gave him an RKO because I was hoping for that the entire time, and I got it. So
it was so nice seeing him kind of just get his comeuppance, not only from, hey, you can't trust the goddamn Viper. Like, you just can't do it, dude. Like, I don't care if you're trying to help him. He will. If he senses weakness, he is going to find it. And that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, he felt like Pat McAfee, I mean, felt like a really shitty hype man to Randy Orton. That's not the kind of guy that Randy needs. It's not a hype man who's going to get RKO'd the first chance he gets. It's just, no.
No. It's not the guy Randy Orton needs.
You're not the guy, Pat McAfee.
You're not that guy. You're not that guy.
But yeah, I mean, listen, I think the best way to say the overall experience of night one left me really just wanting.
Yeah, I think I don't think it was as bad as everybody said it was.
I agree. I 100%
But
agree.
it was it underwhelming? Well, number one, I didn't really expect much from night one, and it kind of was like, right. It wasn't terrible.
Oh
It
yeah,
wasn't
they
great
heavily
either.
stacked the card on night two. I felt like in comparison to night one.
Night two, night and day was just night and day. I was just like, oh, geez. Especially too, you knew it was going to be kind of stack the deck to open too, because it wasn't going to be on ESPN two. It was going to be on ESPN one.
Correct. So let me ask you a question real quick before we go into night two.
Yes.
Is there any match from night two that you feel, if you moved it to night one, would have enhanced the card of night one? It's a good question, right? It could be any. So let's first of all, I'm sorry. Let's exclude the main event for obvious reasons, right? That's going to be night two. So
Can I swap matches?
yes, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
I'm not saying the main event though. I will not agree to moving either main event.
No, I wouldn't have made the move the main event.
I'm making the rule now. That's all. But go ahead.
But I would move Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley, and I would put Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan in the spot for
Why?
from because I feel like that they probably would have gotten
More time.
more time and respect on night two than what they ended up getting on night one.
Okay. I think that's fair. That was probably one that I would move as well. But I don't know. So I would have moved Liv and Stephanie. If not, I would have moved Becky and AJ Lee. But I probably would have moved Trick and Sammy. But I was thinking Rhea and Jade too, though.
Right.
That's
Rhea and Jade was really, really good.
Yeah.
Like it.
100%.
Don't get me wrong. I thought it was really, really good. But at the same time, if they gave the time that they did to Liv and Stephanie and kind of gave it to the time to Jade and Rhea, I feel like it would have delivered just as much. You know, like if they, like I feel like it would have. People would have been not complaining, so to speak.
So one of the reasons I'm saying Trick and Sammy is because the times were pretty close. And Trick and Sammy, I didn't think needed to be longer anyways. But,
no, it did.
It
didn't.
Obviously, Liv and Stephanie, like we said, definitely did. But we might as well go back to it and talk about night one. As everybody kind of knew, and Dan mentioned this live on ESPN, you opened with Obafemi defeating Brock Lesnar. And after the match, it seems like Brock has retired because they gave him a whole package and kept talking about it.
Didn't I say that, like, I think even before the match started, I'm like, they should just let him destroy him in like 3 minutes. Or something.
I don't remember you saying that,
extent.
but I remember you being on the fence this match before that. Way before that. I remember you being on the fence, like, all right, I don't know. But in saying that, I think even you have realized, especially over the last few weeks with the promos that they've kind of done for him, especially the one right before Mania on Monday Night Raw, it was pretty evident that Oba was going to go over.
Yeah, most likely.
The one thing I would say, though, here is that For 4 minutes and 46 seconds, you got everything you wanted out of that time.
Yes.
This match 100% could have gone longer. But I think for what we got out of that 4 minute and 46-second match was, as I said, exactly what was needed.
Exactly.
Like I would have loved them to go. I'm not gonna lie, but again, I have to say it. Like it was exactly what it needed to be.
It didn't need to go 10 minutes. It didn't need to go 15. In my opinion, it was in the right amount of time that it needed to be. It was able to tell the exact story that everybody needed to get told. But the fact of the matter is that Brock Lesnar, I guess, handpicked that Obafemi was going to be the guy to end his career.
Yep. So speaking of that, real quick, I want to shout out to everybody who shared the report that Brock was not going to lose his last few matches in WWE.
Yes.
Go fuck yourself.
Everybody was just like,
oh, he's not
going to lose any matches
until he retires. Nope, he's going to go out without losing. Yep. Whoever reported that and whoever kept sharing that, how wrong you were.
Is this going to be it? I feel like
I'm going to say never say never.
You never say never in this industry. There is always the chance that they get him to come back for the Gunther match, even though let it be.
I don't think he needs that. I don't
let
think
it be. He
I don't
doesn't
think
need
Brock
it.
needs it, and I don't think Gunther needs it at this point.
They just let it be. I'm at the point of just like, no, because Oba should be the guy to kind of just Oba's the guy to do it. Let it be. Don't bring him back. Don't entice him to come back. It's over. Let it be. I don't think Gunther needs to be in the position of, hey, I want to be the guy. No, he doesn't need that either. Let Oba be the guy to do it. Let it be.
Yep. Listen, I don't disagree. I think this was perfect. You're passing the torch. If I'm not mistaken, Oba's only not even 30. I think it's 27, 28.
Something like that.
28. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure Trick is either 27, 28 too. So we'll talk about Trick later. But, this, I just cannot stress it enough. If you wanted more from this match, I don't blame you. But what we got was perfect. It's just.
I don't think he needed more.
I don't think he did either. But that'll bring us to the second match on ESPN, which closed out the first hour pretty much. It was a 6-pack ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Rusev, Rey Mysterio, and Champion Penta, who retained in the ladder match. Which
Goddamn.
honestly did not surprise me. I was thoroughly impressed with this match. From pretty much start to finish, I was impressed with this match. I think they all hit a lot of high spots in this match, especially Javon Evans, which, boy, is bouncy, but, a lot of them really shined in this match. And I'm really happy that some of them got their WrestleMania debut in this match, too, because it was not just Javon Evans. Pretty sure it was Dragon Lee's first WrestleMania competing anyways. I'm pretty sure it was JD McDonough's. Penta, obviously. I'm pretty sure it was Penta's too. So this was huge. Actually, I'm sorry. Penta might have been his second WrestleMania.
I think Penta, this was his second. I think Rusev has been in a couple.
He has, but Javon Evans and Dragon Lee and JD McDonough, I'm almost sure has been the first. But either way, man, like I said, this is a great, great match. I'm not surprised by some of the stuff that happened on Monday Night Raw from this match either, but
no,
just what a great match.
No, it was. There were some moments. It was just like, this guy could take it.
Yep.
It could be this guy. Rusev looked like a real killer at times during the match. even kind of leading in.
Yeah,
That Monday
Raw,
before.
Yep, that Raw, he looked
It
like
was
an
just like,
absolute
oh,
beast,
boy.
just destroying everybody, which he needed, man. He needed that. Plus, you kind of teased, I guess they're calling up some NXT guys, and you teased a somewhat alliance between Ethan Page and Rusev, which just made me laugh hysterically.
I'm all for that, actually.
I am too, which is funny because I
Chelsea
wasn't expecting
Green on
it.
board.
Yep, but Chelsea's on SmackDown though, so who knows? But
Yeah, who knows?
that would be badass. But yeah, Penta retains in a wild ladder match. Probably the better ones I've seen in a while, honestly.
Right.
Which says a lot. 'Cause we have a few every year, so.
No, I agree.
And JD McDonough needs a belt soon.
He does.
I'm just going to say it that way. Javon Evans, you got some time. You only just called him up for the last several months, but you're going to have to give something to JD and Dragon Lee, honestly. And Rusev. I mean, shit. They all deserve a belt after that match, but those guys, 100%. The next match, though, was the WWE United States Championship match. Sami Zayn against Trick Williams, who ended up defeating Trick Williams in about 7 minutes and 7 seconds.
With the largest bridal train fur coat I've ever seen in my entire life.
The best thing I've seen is the GIF where they're calling it a CVS receipt.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That was pretty good. But yeah, that thing was long.
I guess he said it was 80 pounds.
Yeah, he kept looking back at it, which a lot of people were like, why does he keep looking back at it? Because when you're dragging that thing, you can feel anytime somebody touches it. Plus, the thing is so long, he's like, is the whole thing out of the box yet?
I mean, I was like, it's a bridal train. Like, that's the only thing I'm thinking of because I'm just like, wow. But I was excited as hell.
I mean, shit, it was cool still, nonetheless. But
it was cool nonetheless. But also him winning the championship, I was just like, yes. Which also made sense, all the sense in the world too. Why they did not want Carmelo Hayes as champion coming into this, just because of the fact, they probably don't want to do Melo and Trick right away. I know they've done it in NXT, but. So they needed Sammy to be a go ahead, Mac.
Transitional champion.
Exactly.
Transitional champion. Yeah, man. He I felt kind of bad for Sammy, but you're 100% right. You can't do Trick and Mello yet. Especially if you watched NXT and know the history that they have. What is that?
And the next entrant for the Rumble is
Dan's Dryer.
Dan's Dryer has entered the Rumble at number 29.
I was about to have the reaction of, why are you booing me? I'm right. Like, why are you buzzing me? God damn. But then I realized
you are
Dryer.
100% right, though. It's just like, yeah, because you're agreeing with me. And probably it's just the audience being like, no, don't agree with Dan. No, don't do that.
It's like, why the fuck are you buzzing him? He was right. He was right, God damn it.
God damn it, he's agreeing with me. Leave it alone. Leave him alone.
But yeah, listen, I think putting the belt on Trick is the right move. Push this guy to the moon, along with some of the other talent we've already talked about. It's just it's facts. And you ever see this talent after a win and you just get the goosebumps of that guy's gonna be big? I got it a few times this night. One of the first times I got it was for Obafemi. The other one was for Trick Williams. He has that aura that it's gonna play a role. It legit sounds like you're buzzing me. And again, I'm right. Why are you buzzing me?
Exactly. I'm not, but you shouldn't be buzzed because you're 100% right, because I share the exact same sentiment of everything that we've talked about. We've been coming into this. I've been singing the praises of Obafemi, and I've been singing the praises of Trick Williams. We both have. And because we both can tell, it's like, yeah, these guys are definitely going to be major players in the next 5 to 10 years.
They are the future of that company.
They are. And maybe and I know they want Braun Breaker to be, but it's not there yet. I don't know if it's going to be. I know they want it to be. They need, like Triple H is looking at Braun Breaker and it's just like, this is our guy. It's just like, if the audience wants Obafemi and the audience wants Trick Williams and, Braun Breaker comes out and it's just like, It's just like, no, I'm right, God damn it.
Yeah, I was going to say, apparently you're
you're
too.
going for, I understand that you're booking them, but, and now it's over. So.
Because I'm not booked.
Yeah.
The last time you'll hear the buzz, folks.
I'm just going to say it this way. I'm glad Braun is back when we're talking about the future of this company and how you think that they're pushing Braun, which I do think they are. I'm going to have to see where they do this whole Seth Rollins thing first. I'm going to see how it has to look in the ring. Because he's been off TV for a while, so hey, maybe you are able to swing this now in an effective way. We've talked about this in the past. We said it about Rhea. We said it about others that take a break. Even if you're not hurt, sometimes just take a break from TV and reset your character just slightly. You now have that opportunity with Braun Breaker. So I'll have to see how that goes, and I'll maybe agree or disagree that he is or is not the future of the company as well, along with the guys that we were talking about, being Obafemi and Trick Williams. But I need to see more. Now that you have this chance to reset it, show me something. That's how I'll say it. Show me something. But that...
Show me potato salad.
Show me potato salad. That is forever in my head, by the way. Even if you didn't do that, it's forever in my head. Because if you didn't say it, I might have. Anyways, the next match was a street fight. The Demon Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio, who is still your AAA champion. Mega champion, excuse me. Interesting entrance for Dom as the King of the Luchadors. One thing that I found very funny is I have not gone back to watch it, but in my head, as Dom made his entrance, I was very much thinking like, I should pause this and look at the tights of all of these guys and see who they actually are. Because they are probably wearing their own tights. Along with their, Dom Mysterio shirt and mask. And I'm like, okay. And for the King of the Luchadors to jump off of that throne that he came out in into the arms of 6 masked luchadors, I'm just like, bro, you're the King of the Luchadors and you can't make that jump? Really? You need 6 guys to catch you? What? What?
What?
But anyways, the Demon Finn Balor wins this match. It was a street fight. It was not very much a street fight, I felt like, in 10 minutes and 27 seconds.
Yeah,
Good match, though. Don't get me wrong. I was happy with it.
It was good, but it was like still like...
if there was a dud of the night, it was this match.
Yeah.
Let's just be real.
There was nothing in this match. It was like, because I felt like it was in the dust spot, really, because it was...
I'll give you that.
Because everybody was like, wanted Trick. Everybody was excited about Trick. The Intercontinental Championship match, was like massive. Then everybody is still kind of trying to get over what happened with Brock and Oba at the beginning of the night.
Right.
And then, you have Jade and Rhea coming up. I really actually thought that Jade and Rhea I didn't know it was going to go right before the main event. But it was nice that it was kind of in the co-main event spot, to be honest.
Both women's matches were in the co-main event spot.
Yeah, but I feel like they treated this with a lot more respect than they did.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%. 100%. I knew Finn Balor was going to win, but I felt like he should have pushed Dom in this match instead.
Yeah, I feel like you're right.
And I think that's kind of why I sort of checked out of this match.
Yeah.
Because looking at the entire card, like, this was the one that I was just like, yeah, Finn Balor was definitely going to win this match.
Yeah, exactly.
All the other matches, I felt like yeah, you're probably gonna push Jacob, but you can suspend disbelief and maybe think Drew's gonna win.
Right.
You could say the same about the opener with the Usos and the Vision. You could say the same about Becky and AJ. You can suspend disbelief a little bit for that match, but you felt Becky was gonna win.
Right.
All the other matches, what I'm trying to say is you could suspend disbelief a little bit and say, I don't know how this match is going to go. Even the smart Mark fans, I feel like you could say that too. This match, the Demon and Dom, nah, man, like you knew Finn Balor was going over.
Oh yeah,
this was the most predictable match of the weekend. I felt like
it's true. No, you're right. This was the second it was like, oh, he's a demon. It's like, I feel like that it should have come in. He should have come into this unadvertised as the demon, to be quite honest.
Yeah, and then I still would have known he was going to win at that point, but maybe not the entire time that I've encountered this feud, I guess, or watched this feud.
But it could have just been heavily implied instead of coming into this. It's just like, oh, it's the demon,
right? Where
it should just be like, he all of a sudden. Dom comes out and then the lights go out and all of a sudden it's just like dun 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 and people are just like, oh shit, and then here comes the demon, which I felt like would have gotten a bigger pop instead of just like, oh, we know it's coming.
I think the weird part for me also was we'll talk a little bit about Raw for other aspects of this, but this is one of them that I kind of wanted to talk about anyways, where it's like you go into Monday and he is Finn Balor again.
Right.
Against JD McDonough.
Right.
You had such a build up for Dom, introducing the demon again and all this other stuff, so why would you not then go into Monday Night Raw as the demon again when you're facing JD McDonough, who you arguably have more history with anyways from their stint in the indies and other promotions and stuff, 20 years as friends. And it was very much like, hey, we're going to have two vignettes, then we're going to have a match, but it's not the demon, it's just regular Finn Balor. It's just weird. It's just weird. I feel like you should have saved, him and JD for probably Backlash. Make it another event where it's like, versus a throwaway on the, night after Mania. It's like, I didn't care for that. But yeah, that'll bring us to, as you kind of talked about, the co-main event, if you will, Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's Championship. And Rhea wins in 10 minutes and 8 seconds and celebrates after with the Io Sky.
Yeah, I mean, it was really good. I feel like it was Jade Cargill's best match she's ever had.
Yeah, I would argue that as well.
Even throwing out the one-winged angel, which people got mad about because Rhea kicked out of it. And it's just like...
It's not her move. Not her move.
It's well, number one, which, Kenny came out and just was like, yeah, I'm not mad about it. It's like... She pulled it off well. Like, I don't have a problem.
Kenny's not going to be mad about that kind of shit anyways. No. He's going to be flattered by it, which she should be.
Exactly. That's it. Exactly. Kenny's not mad about it because Kenny is a sensible human being.
Yeah. But Jade pulled out a lot of moves in this match, and as you said, it was probably the best match she's ever had.
The only person I know that's ever blatantly stolen anything for move-wise and needed to pay up was when CM Punk stole the GTS from Danhausen. But that was it. Like, that's the only blatant stealing I have seen in pro wrestling lately. It's just the fact that CM Punk stole the GTS from Danhausen.
So we should talk about this match, and I understand that, but we have not actually talked about the Danhausen segment.
We haven't, no. Who got his blimp over the weekend, by the way?
That segment almost stole the show itself.
It really did.
That shit was hilarious.
They gave him his own car.
It's just... He came out with, like, little people, whatever.
They gave him his own car.
Hey, just get him, Jerome. Just fucking hilarious, man.
Like, it's just they have been able to. I have enjoyed hearing the program. Folks.
Yeah, I just played Okada for her.
Yes. She has arrived in the program to bring joy to the world. Oh, it's adorable. Hi. Yes,
Because you're in her
bringing
spot,
joy.
man.
Yes, exactly. This is her spot. So
I can tell just by where you're sitting that you're in her spot.
just in her world. Yes,
Father, you're in my spot.
Father, you're in my spot. It's my time, Dad. Get out of it.
Daddy, move.
Daddy move. But also now it's nice to have like a co-host for the show.
Bitch.
Oh wow, go fuck yourself then, buddy.
I'm saying at home.
Yeah, you can go.
I meant
You can
at
go
home.
fuck yourself for that one.
I was kidding.
I know you were.
God, you know.
I know you were.
But it was also just one for the house, I meant.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyways, Rhea and Jade. I remember just watching it and just feeling so bad for Liv and Stephanie.
Yeah, like I said, it's just I felt like the times kind of should have been reversed.
I don't
Because
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like I don't disagree, but I don't agree either. I think that if you cut out a minute or two of this match and gave it a Liv and even it out, I would have been okay with that too.
yeah.
I just felt that like this is the best way I can say this, and I'm sorry, I'm probably gonna offend somebody with this comment, but it's like they stepped on their dick.
Of course they did.
It's just you were about to hit the gas with Liv and Stephanie, and then all of a sudden you just slammed it into park.
Of course they did. Of course. It's so infuriating because it's just Liv Morgan deserved better. Stephanie McCure deserved better.
Yeah, you gave them a great feud over the course of several weeks, and then you only gave them 7 minutes in the ring together.
No, yeah.
And listen,
don't.
on Monday Night Raw, this one of the things we'll talk about is it looked like, okay, maybe Stephanie will still go after Liv or something like that. Great. But first of all, why was that at the expense of Sol Ruca,
Yeah.
who then had to go back to Florida to wrestle Zarya in a last woman standing match, which she also lost? It's just like, what are you guys doing with this shit sometimes? It drove me crazy.
It just not makes sense.
It doesn't. And listen, like, again, Rhea and Jade put on a great match. I'm not trying to detract from that at all, because as we said, and we both firmly believe, that was Jade Cargill's best match ever.
Right.
Ever. She looked phenomenal.
Without question.
And whatever
Plus
bad
with all-
blood seemed to be happening between those two, they put on a hell of a match together.
Yeah, you couldn't tell that there was
Could not tell
real
anything.
issues
Yeah.
either, because I was waiting. I'm like, oh, is there going to be some kind
I was
of
waiting for some kind of receipt too.
live round or something being thrown around, but there wasn't anything, and it was without question Jade Cargill's best match of her career.
Yep, 100%, 100%. But as all things must come to an end, so did this night with the last match. CM Punk defending his World Heavyweight Championship against Roman Reigns, who ended up defeating CM Punk in 33 minutes and 56 seconds.
You knew from the introductions that this thing was going to hit differently.
Yep.
CM Punk kind of getting the rollback to the beginning of his career. The shot of him on the top of the stadium, then also the B-roll footage coming out later of him doing snow angels on top of the building. I'm just like, only him. Like, only him with the championship doing snow angels on top of the stadium in Los Angeles, Las Vegas for that matter. Because it's hard for me to still kind of say the Las Vegas Raiders, like, because I've been ingrained it's either Oakland or Los Angeles instead of just Las Vegas. But without question, you can put this into discussion as one of the greatest main events in the history of WrestleMania. And I am talking top 5, top 10 all time.
Yeah, I'd say top
That
5,
is
top
how
10. Same.
that is how good that this is. This was everything that I wanted Cody and Roman to be, in the sense of Cody and Roman was great. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, the interference was always something that bothered me. It was always something that drove me crazy. Because it was just like, this is supposed to be the exclamation point. This is supposed to be, the final act.
Right.
And it ended up just being like, oh, hey, oh, here's a cameo. Oh, it was just a giant crossover episode. This, however, was one-on-one, two people that wanted to be the world heavyweight champion, but also hated each other.
Yep.
And it was a war. And it was brilliant from beginning to end. And, I put it in the category of Hogan and Savage. I put it in the category of
I'll give you that. Yeah.
I put it in the category of Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. We're talking the best main events in the company's history. So you could put Steve Austin and The Rock at X7.
Yep.
Every single main event in the company's long history, in 42 years of this company's existence, and you can say that CM Punk and Roman Reigns. And that is exactly what I guarantee you CM Punk was trying to tell them 15 years ago. If you put me in this spot, I am going to make sure that it is one of the greatest of all time. And that is exactly what he did.
Well, I might have said this a week ago, if not 2 weeks ago, where I basically said that I was glad that we got it now, because, as I said before, I wouldn't have wanted Big Dog Roman Reigns versus CM Punk.
No, I wouldn't have.
It needed to be the Tribal Chief.
It needed to be now. It needed to be in this, and it needed to be where Roman Reigns was in a position where, going into the last half of the match, anytime, it is a great match. It is an era-defining main event when the audience at the last 5 to 10 minutes are still on their feet, and it's a mixed reaction.
Yeah, they didn't know who to cheer for.
No one. They didn't. Like, CM Punk coming into that match, I did hear quite a bit of boos when he came in. I heard quite a bit more cheers for Roman Reigns coming into this thing. But at the end of it, it was 50-50. I couldn't tell. I could not tell who had because for some reason that there was a switch. It was almost just like it had that Rocky IV feel at the end, where it was just like, even though Rocky was in Russia, the fans were still kind of just like, Rocky. Right. Like it was just like a 50-50 type feel, where I felt like that this was in the same realm. The story of at the end of it, of just like when CM Punk got offended because Roman Reigns called him old. And CM Punk hit the GTS, put him on his shoulders, and Punk collapsed. And then Reigns hits him with a spear. Punk tries to get up. Punk is still staggered. Reigns goes full force, another spear. 1, 2, 3. And a dream was realized for one Phil Brooks, a kid from Chicago who had a hard time growing up, and at certain points has an attitude of that a lot of people really got bothered by it, and it's cost him some big time money in the past and in recent years, and so to speak, because he's had to deal with some children that couldn't even run a target. And I am sure there have been moments where he did not expect that the WrestleMania main event was going to be in the cards for him. But he was able to come back, and they had other plans originally. But in the end, he was in the main event of WrestleMania defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Roman Reigns, which you can argue is one of the biggest stars in the history of the industry. But CM Punk is also in that discussion too, because this match is era defining. This match will go down in the annals of time. Whenever they talk about the greatest WrestleMania main events of all time, this is automatically in that discussion. And the discussion of great WrestleMania matches of all time, again, this is in the discussion. And it is always going to be in that discussion because, you know, you can put it the same vein as Steamboat and Savage. You can put it in the same boat. Every top one-on-one pure match in the history of this industry at that show, in that spot, this match belongs in that discussion for the annals of time.
Do you think that if he didn't get hurt a couple years ago at the Rumble, and if Rollins didn't get hurt, that we would have gotten this? Or do you think we would have gotten him and Seth Rollins?
I think it would have been him and Rollins at 40. I think the plan was still for Cody and Roman at 40, or Cody versus Rock, depending on,
Or Reigns, but yeah.
Yeah, or, well, no, it would have been Rock versus Roman, sorry.
Right.
But I feel like that would have been the plan. Next year it'll be interesting, actually, because I think that, and I'll discuss kind of the plan, what I think is going to happen next year, because it has something to do with what happened on Raw. But, you know, this is it. To sit here and say in 2026 that Roman Reigns and CM Punk, it was a split audience going into like the third act of the main event. That is in my wildest dreams. I never thought I would be able to say that or see that, hear about that, just because of the fact that I think of all the vitriol, and I think about all the fandom that was against Roman Reigns, and I get of the presentation of the big dog. I know that's a big part of it. But there were a lot of times that it was pretty much hopeless, and the thought that Roman Reigns was going to be able to be in this position, the position that he has been in the last 6 or 7 years, because of his character, but because of being the tribal chief, that a returning CM Punk, who became the world champion and is now main eventing his first WrestleMania against Roman Reigns, the same guy that the argument
Make
has
him
been
look
made.
strong, Phil.
Make him look strong, Phil. That line has just been towing in his head for 12 years. It's the same thing when it's discussed. It wasn't supposed to be Roman in the Shield. It was supposed to be Chris Hero. That was the third guy that was supposed to be in it. It was not going to be Roman Reigns. It was going to be Chris Hero. That's what CM Punk had kind of implied, that who he wanted to be the third member of the Shield.
Make him look strong, Phil.
Exactly. Am I winning? Yes, but you got to make him look strong.
Yep. I think he looked plenty strong at WrestleMania, Phil.
I mean, I came out of that theater. I came into within the first probably 15 minutes. I'm just like, yeah, this is gonna be a classic. Within the last after 25 minutes, I was just like, this is gonna be an all timer. And then after the final bell, I was just like, this is one of the greatest main events in the history of the company. This is going to be talked about for ages. And I know it's cliche and all that stuff. But this just hit different. This absolutely hit different compared to others. There's been a lot of main events, I feel like, that also people have kind of overvalued.
I'll agree with that.
100%. Like WrestleMania 31, I was always just like, you guys like it, but the reason why is this, and this. There are a lot of main events, though, too, where people were completely spot on about. WrestleMania 32, Triple H and Roman Reigns. Yeah, it was terrible. But,
listen, I'll say it this way, right? This match brought me back to the Attitude Era kind of main events, right? I'm not going to sit here and say that 14 with Austin and HBK was the best match in the world, but it was good for what it was.
Yeah, it was.
I felt like it hit me because I was such an Austin fan at the time. I was so happy he won, but objectively, it's a great
and it was
match.
in Boston, so it's a little.
And it was biased. In Boston too, yeah. It's still a good match. Don't get me wrong, but it's not what this was, right? Rock Austin at 15, good. 17 was a little bit better. Not awful match, but still good. This hit better. Some of the other main events that we've gotten over the past, it's okay, sure, they're not bad, but they're not this match. I understand it, though, because people are going to look at this entire weekend together and be like, well, WrestleMania wasn't that good, though. And is that a fair assessment? If you factor night one in, if you don't, you look at them as separate entities, I thought the Sunday show, yes, was far superior, and it brought back the WrestleMania.
Right.
We already kind of mentioned that night one kind of felt like a different animal entirely, which is rather unfortunate because, again, it's still WrestleMania, so you kind of have to factor it together, which is also unfortunate because, again, this match is you said it best, probably top 5, top 10 main events in WrestleMania history, as it should be. You got two stars that are, in great places in their career, even though Phil's on the older side. He put together a great match with Roman. Both participants in the match are over 40. Both main events, the guys are 40 plus. I'm okay with that because of what we got out of both matches.
Right.
Just Sunday was just better. Like I said, there's no other way to say it.
It is better. It was better. It was exactly the main event I think that I expected it to be.
I thought they over-delivered, actually.
I did think they over-delivered because there was a part of me I was just like, Yeah, it'll probably be a match of the year candidate, but I don't know if it's going to be like one of the greatest of all time. Like I was just like, but no, it was unfriggin' believable. Like it just, and the only thing I could think of, I'm just like, if it was Seth Rollins, it would have just, it wouldn't have delivered this much. It would have blown. If it was Seth Rollins, it was Braun Breaker and CM Punk, it would have blown. Like all the stars aligned. This was the scenario that if this was not the original main event, thank God the stars aligned the way they did, because WrestleMania this year, this was the show that made, this was the match that made WrestleMania feel like WrestleMania, at least. At least for this match, there was that WrestleMania feeling where it was just like, yeah, this is hitting the exact way I wanted it to.
I felt that way about night 2 entirely. All the right people won. You know, that they
That's fair.
They won in the best fashions. You know, like I said, maybe the exception would be Finn Balor and Dom Mysterio, but you know, again, that just was more the predictability factor. It still delivered what it needed to deliver. It just had the unfortunate aspect of a very predictable outcome. Whereas some of the other matches, especially the main event, you did not know who was going to win those matches, especially the main event.
Right.
I will preface this next part as kind of a quicker segment, obviously, all things considered, but I will be curious to see where they go from here.
Yes.
The Raw after Mania, we're not going to go deep diving into this. Some good matches, some good segments. We got a segment with Cody and CM Punk, and Cody telling him anytime, any place, more or less, and not so many words. The end of the night had Jacob Fatu in a standoff with Roman Reigns, but the reason I bring those two things up at the same time is because are we getting a Crown Jewel Championship of Cody and Roman?
I don't know. I don't know if that quite possibly could be the scenario, because if you want my honest opinion, Roman should hold the championship going into WrestleMania next year, and it should be over Femi, him challenging. And then going into WrestleMania for Cody next year, I would do CM Punk challenging against Cody Rhodes next year at WrestleMania.
Okay. I'm not for or against either of those things. I don't know if they're going to pull the trigger on over that quick would be my only kind of concern, even though they should. CM Punk and Cody, I wouldn't be surprised after this this Raw, which was basically Cody telling him anytime, any place, more or less.
Right.
Which that match should 100% happen, obviously. I'm more curious about the immediate future, where I'm curious if they do another Cody and Roman match, because both will be champions if they both carry it that long.
Right.
Which I'm not going to hate that, but then it's like, does Cody have to face him again to get that win back now? It's like, I don't know. I don't know what kind of extension Cody signed either, so who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 6'7", I agree. I'm curious what they do with Becky, obviously. She was not at Raw, neither was AJ Lee. I'm curious about the women's tag team titles, because they are defended across all three brands, if you will, so we'll have to see as for Friday, but...
Right.
I don't know. I don't know what to do with some of this talent. You know, they did, I thought this was weird. They had Rhea and Io versus Kairi Sane and Asuka in a match, I guess, to get a win walking out. For Rhea, we'll end the feud here because Rhea's not involved anymore. It was weird. It was very weird what they did there. And then see you around, teasing Night of Champions again, I felt like, with Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. It's like, okay, great.
See you around.
Yeah.
Okay.
See you around, because you're probably going to get your ass kicked by Mommy at Night of Champions when you do that, so, okay.
You're going to die, clown!
Yeah, for real. And then, keeping Stephanie in the title picture, not a bad idea either, but
No.
it kind of didn't make a lot of sense to have her lose with that much interference and then still have something going on. It's just weird. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where they go with some of those storylines walking out of WrestleMania. And some of those stuff starts to get a little bit more clear. I was very surprised, however, that they announced that they're doing Crown Jewel, or not Crown Jewel, excuse me, Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia again in a few months. Not exactly the political climate I'd like to find myself in right now.
No, not right now. But that sweet, sweet dollar. That's sweet, sweet. Well, I mean, wait, what am I talking about? We're bringing peace and love with these shows, and we're bringing, our piece of Americana to them for billions of dollars. But still, we're bringing over our brand of entertainment over to this country and being able to share it with the world.
I'm all for that. I just wish they would do it a little bit more safely.
Yes, and for not a large sum of money.
Well, they can still do it for a large sum of money. I don't care about that because it does not affect me or my dollar. But I wish it wouldn't affect so many other people's dollar. Because
yes.
I mean, listen, they were trying to do something with Japan. They can go to Japan. They can go to Australia again. They've had success there. They can go other places. They can actually have a show in India that's not like just exclusive to India. They can do so many different things in so many different places that might give them money too.
Yes, there's
Maybe
a lot
it
of
still will not
countries.
be as much, unfortunately, and I understand that. But, do not put your superstars at risk for a dollar.
Speaking of putting your superstars at risk, folks, we need to have this conversation again.
Oh, God.
For the wrestling fans.
Yep.
And I hate having this conversation, but it's getting to that point, folks. Stop going to hotels. Stop going to airports. Dude, the guy with the phone who got smacked out of his hand by CM Punk, you were invading space. Sorry. You were. You shouldn't have been that up close to Bailey or AJ Lee.
Plus,
You were
Bailey tried to knock it
space.
away, too.
Yes.
If Bailey's trying to knock it away,
You
should
were
probably back the
invading
fuck up.
people's privacy. And you don't deserve an apology, in my opinion. You should be banned from all wrestling events further and all that stuff. It's just, you're done. You should be blacklisted. What you did was stupid. You're lucky Punk didn't do worse just by, slapping the phone out of your hand.
I'm just going to say it this way.
Quit being a baby and take this as a lesson.
I'm gonna take it a step further. Don't be a douche. Just stop. If they tell you to stop and they ask you to stop, I don't care
Stop.
what form they tell you to stop. Whether they ask or tell, just stop. If that means you have to back up a few steps, back up a few steps. If that means you have to put your phone away, put your phone away. Because these people owe you nothing. They are entitled to privacy just as much as you are. And if they want to go about their day without you bothering them, let them do that. Please. I love that Obafemi was just like, this is my time right now.
Exactly.
Because it is.
100%.
It is. And if he gives you the time of day, thank him profusely. If he does not give you the time of day and tells you in not so many words to fuck off, take it for what it's worth. And go and enjoy your day.
Just walk away.
Just fuck off.
Exactly.
I was honestly, to just bottom line this, I was so disgusted by some of these reports over the weekend. Harassing Randy Orton, harassing Obafemi, harassing Bailey, and then CM Punk needing to push her phone away. All these things. It's like, guys, I get it. You are a fan of this person. But just tell them that and fuck off. Just
walk
because
away.
you're a fan doesn't mean you are then entitled to essentially harass them. Just leave them alone. Tell them what you want to tell them, and if they say thank you, say you're welcome. If they say,
Exactly.
do you want a picture? Or if you ask them for a picture and the answer is no, then fuck off.
Don't be like Stan from Eminem.
Yeah,
Just,
for
you
real.
know, just
don't,
stop.
Just don't. Yeah.
Just stop. Just stop. They don't want to hear your story about how great, how big of a fan you are of theirs. They've heard 900,000 of them. They don't want to know. They're not going to remember your name in 60 minutes. They're not going to remember that. They're not going to remember your story or why you're there, your inspiration for training and getting into the business. They've heard it so many times before. Just walk away. Just be nice. The fact that, hey, you know what? Cool. I got to see one of my favorites. I didn't want to bother him though, and all that stuff, because you shouldn't.
Yeah, I'm going to actually say one more thing, actually, because you said something that triggered a memory of seeing pictures of a mutual friend at one of these WWE events, like meet and greets and stuff like that. And listen, I 100% understand if that's your thing. That's awesome for you. I also understand that if it is your thing, but there is a financial block from you doing that, I understand that, and that sucks. That, however, does not give you the right, just because either you don't have the money or don't want to spend the money or for whatever reason can't spend the money to do the meet and greets, for you to find them in a public place and essentially harass them as if you're at one of those events.
Right.
Just stop. And listen, I'll say it this way. I could go spend money on that. I choose not to. I actually prefer not to. And hearing stuff like this about fans going up to them in public outside of those, meet and greets, just you're ruining the experience for everybody else. You just are.
They're gonna get to a point where they're not gonna want to deal with anybody.
That's 100% why I'm saying it.
We're getting to that point, and it's just, you got to stop ruining it for other people.
Yeah, and listen,
you just do.
The Cody bus tour thing over the weekend was like 10 G's. I get it if you don't have that money or don't want to spend that kind of money. But the alternative is not to try to hunt him down in a public place.
No.
As if you're at that event. I understand that the Liv Morgan thing was also expensive, and that some of these stars, past and present, are either charging for themselves, I should say, or charging through WWE and TKO and stuff, and it still might be a lot of money. Because you've gone to more of these events than I have, Dan, and you've seen the price tag on some of them.
Oh, of course.
And then getting them on top of that to get a picture, and then on top of that, sign something, you're driving the cost up. Outside of just to get into the meet and greet, all those things drive up the cost for you.
Fanatics, I will give the thing I'll give Fanatics credit on, and there's not a lot I'll give Fanatics credit on, is when it comes to autographs, the industry really needed somebody to kind of come in and just say, we're the only ones that are going to be selling this stuff. Because of the fact of that, there was the Wild Wild West for years. It was like that since the 70s and especially the 80s, when 900 companies are handing out COAs, and it's just, you don't know if this is real or fake or not. There was a case a few years ago, recently, within the last 5 years, of somebody that was involved in like a major counterfeits memorabilia line that he ended up was going to billions of dollars that this guy was involved with. He ended up unaliving himself or was killed or something. I don't know the exact story, but I believe that those were some of the details that I remember. But the fact is that we have seen so many companies kind of selling 8x10s or whatnot, that we needed kind of like a regulation system. We needed one company to say, okay, this is what we're going to sell, and this is, how many individually numbered and whatnot. And it's just going to be us that's going to be doing the authentication and whatnot. And that's what Fanatics did with a lot of autographs. There's some stuff that I have in my collection that are authenticated by Fanatics, and they've done a really good job as far as that is concerned. Like, I feel like that their quality is like, if Fanatics authenticates it, it's legit. There's a lot of times now where you might have had something that you've held in your collection for years that you might have to send out to Beckett or JSA, and you'll have to actually spend money out of your own pocket for the item that you had bought years ago to see if that's real or fake or not. And with Fanatics, you don't have to do that. Once you know it's Fanatics certified, it's pretty much just like, yeah, I know this was signed by Roman Reigns, so it's fine.
I guess, for that extent, I'll give them credit on that. But, otherwise it's very hard to give them credit for much.
No, I understand. Trust me. I understand that, stuff's expensive, especially in this economy. I know that's always Right.
the gag, but it's the truth. We already kind of talked about it with this show coming up in Saudi Arabia, where there's things going on in the world that are driving up the costs of things for everyday people. And obviously, TKO also is driving up their price for WWE merch and anything really related to WWE. The cost
Just like a Kylo Ren.
yeah.
More!
Yeah.
More!
It sucks, and again, desperate times, desperate people, desperate measures. But I'll say it this way: it's from Bill and Ted. Be awesome to each other.
Exactly.
Stop being douchebags to talent.
TKO, stop being Pac-Man. Just start eating the pellets. Just constant pellet eating. Ooh, a cherry. Ooh,
a celebrity. Ooh, a celebrity. Ooh, a celebrity. That's TKO.
ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy.
It makes me wonder what celebrities will be involved next year. We already got Logan Paul as a regular, and we got Ice Speed, Pat McAfee, and Jelly Roll were involved in the main event.
The ring announcer for
Little Yachty.
And the special guest referee for the women's championship match, Sydney Sweeney.
I love one of the things that Kenny Omega said in an interview one time, that we're getting to the point where WrestleMania is going to have Mr. Beast versus Logan Paul.
He's not wrong.
Oh, he's not.
That could be that's on the verge to have. Well, two of the
I wouldn't
fact
say
that
the verge,
Logan,
but yeah.
the fact that Logan Paul has a WrestleMania match and Kenny Omega hasn't.
I hate Logan Paul, but I can't deny he's talented.
No, of course, I get it. It's hard for me to kind of. I'm in the same boat because trust me, I want to hate him, but it's hard not to. When it comes to at least his wrestling IQ and his ability, to be fair. So.
Yep. But yeah, like I said, that's WrestleMania, and it'll be interesting to see where they go from here. They got a few storylines brewing, it looks like, and let's see what SmackDown brings. And did you know there's a Hulk Hogan documentary?
Yeah, apparently. Apparently, my God. Apparently that's something we might have to kind of check out and review.
Yeah.
I don't know yet. Roman Reigns is supposedly going to be full-time now, coming in being world champion now. So only time will tell there. So it'll be interesting to see where WWE goes. AEW, I mean, Tommaso Ciampa and Darby Allin had a real banger match of the year candidate last night on TV.
Yep.
Darby Allin's first title defense since winning the championship last week on Dynamite.
Which surprised me they had him defend that quickly.
Yes.
And against Ciampa, which I'm not trying to be insulting when I say that. Ciampa's a great star. Like I'm not gonna lie about that. I don't understand why people shit on him. He's great in the ring. But the fact they took it to that level on his first defense, a week after winning it, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. But that's Darby Allin wants to be a workhorse, I guess. So they're going to go with that. You know, it's funny. I was watching. There was somebody on social media that was complaining about Will Ospreay wrestling again on TV. And he's just like, why can't they just let him work on the pay-per-views? It's just like, usually when you have
put at least one TV match in a month along with a pay-per-view.
Usually when you have a favorite wrestler, though,
you want to see it more, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Why are you complaining that they're going to be on TV more?
I think being objective, you could do one TV and one pay-per-view a month. I don't think you need much more than that.
No, that's fair. That I agree with.
And even sometimes being on TV and maybe not having a match, like they're probably going to do with Roman, not going to lie, then I'm okay with that too. As long
as he's at every pay-per-view, I don't care.
I don't know.
If he has to miss one, but
if he misses,
if
he misses a TV here and there, I'm not going to complain. You can't keep him off TV more than a week at a time, I feel like.
Right.
Like if he's going to be on TV one week, I'm okay with him not being on TV next week, as long as he's on the TV the week after that, until whatever show you're at. I'm okay with that, which I think is objectively what they should all do, honestly. One week on, 1 week off. Rotate your stars, whatever. But the thing that kind of makes me laugh a little bit is, so we kind of talked about this on Sunday, but we didn't talk about it here, which is why I'm bringing it up. We did not seem to get a Black Wednesday.
Not yet, anyways.
And I thought it was very funny that, and it'll segue into something else we didn't actually talk about from night 2. I was very surprised that the team to come out more or less to challenge the division was the Street Profits. I'm not mad about it, but I was like, huh. And it was funny because I was thinking like the War Raiders would have been a good choice too. Not for nothing.
Yes.
They've been off TV for a little bit too. However, bring up the Street Profits, I do want to say congratulations to Bianca Belair.
Yes, who was with child and made that announcement at night 1 of WrestleMania, which
it was night 2.
It was like, oh, that's a nice.
Was it night 1 or was it night 2?
No, it was night 1. Night 1
right.
She made the announcement.
It was.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're right. Yep.
So, but yeah, it was a nice little announcement. She'll be off TV now for the foreseeable future.
I'm thinking like 2028, if not
probably
2029.
Exactly. Like, but you know what? Good for her. Good for Montez.
Yeah,
Ford.
I'm not upset by that news at all. If you're going to be out longer, that's a very valid and acceptable reason to be off television for even longer.
Exactly.
If anything, I hope her finger is healed, and I hope that her and Montez all the best. Obviously, with that news, for me the part that sucks is Bianca's 37.
Yeah, I know.
So it's like, and Naomi, we talked about this with her too. She was also, in her upper 30s too. So it's like,
right.
Are they going to come back? That's the part that kind of sucks to ask that question.
It sucks that it has to be thrown out there now, but it's unfortunate that we're in that position that we could be looking at somebody that was on the trajectory, or to be honest, she's already got a Hall of Fame resume, in my opinion.
Oh, she absolutely does.
She really doesn't have to worry about. She doesn't have to worry about kind of like a legacy or whatnot. I think she's been an because I always told everybody, I'm like, once I saw like kids dressing up as her and going to like these Comic-Cons dressed up as her, I'm like, yeah, you know what? Keep putting the belt on her, like, because she's a star. She's an inspiration to kids, and she's already got a Hall of Fame legacy, so she's done. It's unfortunate because I feel like that there's, a match with her and Jade would be fantastic. We never got a one-on-one match with her and Rhea.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that I kind of want to see.
Tiffany.
Yeah, there's so many matches that I want to see her have, and it might not happen, but congratulations to them in the end. I mean, good for them.
100%.
So great.
I mean, listen, if she comes back,
nice little wholesome moment too.
Yeah, it absolutely was. If she comes back, great. If she doesn't, sucks, but great too. We got a lot of great matches out of her. Are there more potentially in the tank? Hopefully, but
right.
You mentioned some of the names, and those would be such great matches. I'd love that. It's just tough, But like I said, and you said it too. Congratulations to her and Montez. Absolutely. Hopefully, I mentioned Black Wednesday, but hopefully that means we will not get releases. We have not gotten anything yet this week. Obviously, around the weeks after Armenia, it tends to happen where some of the talent that they're not using or not utilizing very often tend to get released around this time. Hopefully that's not the case. I will say though, something that somebody else said on Sunday. Oh, The Miz. Oh. And I was like,
Chip Wilson?
The Miz is on TV weekly, and so is Kit Wilson, who's really developing this singles character right now. They're not getting released.
And then sure enough, WrestleMania segment, we're just looking at it like, oh, those guys are getting released?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why are they on the show right now? Hey, do you know why they're on the show right now? Oh, these guys are getting released, right? Black Wednesday?
Yeah, Danhausen's getting released too, apparently, from that segment. I mean,
apparently. Jesus.
So wild. That I could not believe that the examples of a Black Wednesday are those guys. I'm thinking I'm worried about the War Raiders. Right? Like, they haven't been on TV. Some of the tag teams, I'd be worried about them. And then the Street Profits come out on Monday Night Raw. It's like, oh, okay.
What the H? What's going on here?
Hey, you booked them good, though, and that. I wasn't upset by that.
Yeah, no.
And they should, honestly, they should be on Raw instead of SmackDown.
I feel like Monday showed a lot of promise. Like, I feel like that they're at least trying to do something to be like, okay, we know we sucked. We're actually going to try now.
It's funny you say that.
We're really going to start trying.
It's funny you say that because Obafemi came out, said the ruler is here, and that was the end of the segment. And honestly, I looked at that segment and I go, that's all you need.
Exactly. That was literally all you needed. Like, because I go back to the night that, the night after, I think it was WrestleMania 33, I think. Yeah, 33. Roman Reigns retires The Undertaker and he just goes out there into a chorus of boos. The whole place is just like, boo, and it's just like, fuck you, and all this stuff. And Roman's out there, and he's just out there. He doesn't speak. He's just soaking in all the booze and all the booze, all the booze and all the booze. And he finally picks up the mic and he just says, "This is my yard now." Throws the mic down and leaves. People were still booing. But it was one of those moments that's just like, all right, fuck it. Like,
so let me ask you a question.
This is where we gotta live.
Let me ask you a question. You saying that?
Yep.
So obviously, your memory is way longer than mine when it comes to that. So I'll accept that was probably WrestleMania 33.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that the chorus of Oba chants was equal to the booing of Roman Reigns after WrestleMania 33?
Yeah, because he's over as hell.
Right.
Except the difference...
The difference is the opposite of the spectrum. So hold on. The difference is the opposite of the spectrum, number one. But number two, so again, like, boos to cheers, would you say they're about equal?
Both of them are at least getting both of them at least are getting a reaction.
Right.
Which is what you want.
Oh, 100%.
Okay? So... the reaction, though, that Oba is getting is the absolute reaction, though, you want. Because
I agree.
You want everybody in the building to be like, Oba.
Who?
Oba.
Who?
everybody in that you want audience, and then all he has to do is just come out there, say what he said on Monday, and leaves, and everybody's still going, oh, bah, oh, bah.
Oh.
So it's that. That's that they got the response that they want, and they're looking at it from this guy now. They're just like, yeah, sky's the limit. Like there's no other performer right now, I think, that as far as in their youth movement is concerned, that really I think is just caught on like this. Trick too, but like Olba is just like on a completely different level. Don't get me wrong, Trick's there, but Olba is just like we're talking main event guy that is ready right now.
I want Trick to be slightly more serious towards like an Oba, and he'd probably be even more over than he is now.
That's fair,
because I don't give a shit about the lemon pepper steppers. I'm just gonna say it that way. It's hilarious, but I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about that. Just I want him to have the charisma that he has, but in a more serious way.
That's fair.
I say that in full transparently about marking the fuck out on SmackDown for the Gingerbread Man. That shit was fucking hilarious. I wish they showed us who it was. Just to be some random person, and I wouldn't have cared either way, but I wanted to see who the Gingerbread Man was.
Part of me wanted to be Kevin Owens.
No shit was thinking the same thing. When I watched it, I was like, oh man, please be KO, please be KO. It's a little too stealth for Kevin Owens, but shit, it would be hilarious. I was hoping for that.
Yeah.
He rips the mask off and it's him.
That's how my brain works. I'm just like, come on!
Or I wanted
Kevin Owens!
Or I wanted whoever it was to freaking just Rick Sami Zayn with a haluva kick of his own. That would have been hilarious.
Sammy Hogan.
Sammy Hogan. Yeah, I just listen. It's been a good week for wrestling. Was it the best week it's ever been?
It has.
No. Was it the best Mania it's ever been? No. Still a great show. Still great main events. I thought second night obviously just blew the first night out of the water though for a lot of different reasons.
Right.
And again, just to close, did you know there's a Hulk Hogan documentary?
Yeah, I mean, who knew, brother? I mean,
I did. Only every 20 fucking minutes.
Brother.
You
know I was in the NWO and
well, let me tell you something, brother.
Yeah, we know. We know, Hulk. We know. Next. So, do we have anything else we want to discuss this week?
Leave superstars alone. If you see them in public, leave them alone.
Yeah. Just stop, guys. We need to start having some decorum with these people instead of just like thinking that it's just like, oh.
I get being a fan, and maybe it's just me being antisocial, but just leave people alone. Hey, CM Punk, big fan. Nice to meet you. I'm such and such. Mind if I get a picture? No? Okay. Yep. Thanks anyways.
All right. See ya. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. I'll leave you alone. Thanks anyways.
Yep.
That's
Read the fucking room. How about that?
Yeah. It's just like, dude,
read the fucking room.
I want these people to look in the mirror and ask, if you were a fan of you, would you want you coming up to you and acting the way you act?
Exactly.
That's what I want to ask these people, just straight out. And again, maybe that's just me being antisocial, but I can't imagine myself walking up to somebody and thinking that they owe me their time. I just can't. That boggles my mind. But I digress.
That boggles my mind.
But yeah, that's all I got.
All right. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed some parts of WrestleMania. I understand if some of you were frustrated by the ads. I understand if some of you were frustrated by some of the match times by night one. But I find it very hard to believe that you were dissatisfied with at least the main event for night two. considering the fact that you can argue it is one of the greatest main events in the history of WrestleMania. And if you don't realize that, and if you didn't watch the match, and because oh Phil, blah, 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 then
or if you wanted CM Punk to win,
or you're still blaming him for stuff that happened in AEW, you're only doing this to yourself by not watching this classic. So do yourself a favor. If you can watch it, do it, because you won't regret it. I promise you.
Yeah, I will just tack on to that and say kind of what you were saying, but also kind of what I was trying to say. If you have a bias in this match, whether you wanted Roman to win or you wanted him to lose, and same with Punk, obviously, put that to the side and just appreciate what this match was.
Absolutely.
Because it told a great story, it had great action to it. I don't know if he's rated this or not, but for me, this was a 5-star match.
Meltzer gave it very high praise.
He should have.
Meltzer gave high praise to it, and including CM Punk especially, which I was shocked considering recent some of the things that have gone on in recent years. I will be very interested to see what he does give it for a rating, but because he might give it a 5-star, which I'll be impressed if he does that. I don't know if he will, but who knows at this point.
But I feel like some of the criticisms that he's had against especially Roman Reigns matches in the first place, especially the last few years, is the amount of run-ins. We didn't get any in this match, which surprised me. I thought we were getting at least one. We didn't get even that.
Some use of some breaking of the rules, obviously, with Reigns using the steel steps at one point, and then Punk using a distraction, and then using a low blow, which
I thought it was in tune with their characters, honestly.
Honestly, I thought, the steel steps thing, it's like, obviously that should be called for a disqualification, but, when you're in the main event of WrestleMania, you got to go, you got to kind of let stuff go. It's like when you're in the Super Bowl, it's like, okay, are we going to call every holding call? Like, come on.
Yeah, that's how I saw it too, actually, funny enough. It's like, you don't call everything in the Super Bowl. You don't call everything in the World Series. Let them fucking go.
It's like you're not calling it. You just have to kind of let it play out in the field instead of just like sitting there and just being like, all right, I'm going to call them for holding for like, even though they were holding on the play before and the play before that one. Like it's just, you kind of got to let it go and just say, fuck it. And so that I don't think was really a problem. I know some people were just like, Mike Chioda was just like, well, yeah, that's a DQ. We know Mike, but it wasn't. So
I mean, dude, we've had the announce table be a thing on the outside of the ring for years, and they never call a DQ for that.
Exactly.
We've had Steve Austin hit The Rock with a stunner holding a goddamn camera. And I'm pretty sure he got hit with it too.
Yes.
And there was no DQ in that. We've had a lot of shit go on in these matches that a DQ was not called. I'm okay with bending the rules once in a while, especially for the main event of fucking WrestleMania.
Exactly.
And that's where I'm going to shut my mouth.
And on that note, folks, hopefully you enjoyed WrestleMania. We'll be back next week to discuss the ongoing world of professional wrestling, see what any developments that come after WrestleMania, of course, some of the post-show stuff, some of the post-mortem, as far as like the ratings are concerned, as far as match ratings, to see if CM Punk gets a 5-star rating from Dave Meltzer for this Mania. Who knows? But we'll bring that all to you next week here on PWW Talks. You can find us on Diamond Podcasting Productions on YouTube and also on Spotify under PWW Talks, Audacity, or wherever you get your favorite podcast. And we will see you next week, and enjoy your week, people. Bye!